your spirit and believe God for it. Don't wait till the battle is over. Shout right now. Okay. We started Sunday talking about worship. Introducing this theme, we're going to continue today and tonight, as we will for the next couple of weeks, because it's a vast subject matter. And I'm not going to run through it. I'm going to talk through it. And yesterday the conversation got interesting. I want to pick up there. I left a pin in Deuteronomy chapter 6. I want to pick up there and talk through it. Sunday, our lesson, worship. We've been created to worship. We took a look at the church. Even the church has been created to worship God. We took a look at the ideal of the purpose of the church. What is the church's purpose? It is partly to preach. It is partly to serve. It is partly to be in the process of winning souls. But ultimately, we're created to worship. And when I say worship, we must expand that definition of worship. We must see it bigger than lifting hands and singing songs and even bowing or kneeling. Worship is obedience. So we took a look at 1 Samuel there. And 1 Samuel reminded us that obedience is better than sacrifice. 1 Samuel 15, I thought it was 13. 1 Samuel 15:22. Obedience is better than sacrifice. That God is desirous for us to obey Him rather than to bring an offering. Bring an offering is always, I'm telling you, every time I look up worship, offerings are involved. There is an offering of something. There is an offering. Worship involved giving all the time. All the time. But what trumps the actual giving is the actual obedience. Even when we took a look at Genesis 22, 1 through 5, how God spoke to Abraham. Say, Abraham, take your son, take him up to the place I'll show you, and offer him. So the offering is involved, but what was big in the text is his obedience. He says, me and the lad, we go yonder to worship. We're going to go up the mountain and we're going to worship. And that worship was viewed as obedience. It is Abraham's obedience to God was offered as his worship. We know the Lord intervened. It was a test. The Lord intervened and his son is not sacrificed, but Abraham's willingness to obey God was his worship. Now, yesterday we bounced back to Deuteronomy 6, which says to love God with all your heart, mind, soul, and strength. Let me see if I can pull up that passage and read it. Here it is, Deuteronomy chapter 6. Here is where God gives the first commandment. All right, here's the first commandment. You talk about the 10 commandments. This is the first commandment. Even in the New Testament, when they ask Jesus, what is the greatest commandment? He responds by saying that we should love God. But let's take a look at it in the way it was presented. Okay, Deuteronomy chapter 6. Now these are the commandments, the statutes, and the judgments. What am I in? NIV? Let me see if I can get the NIV. Okay. These are the commandments, decrees, and laws the Lord your God directed me to teach you to observe in the land that you are crossing the Jordan to possess, so that you, your children, and your children after them may fear the Lord your God as long as you live, by keeping all the decrees and commandments that I give you, and so that you may enjoy long life. Hear, Israel, and be careful to obey, so that it may be well with you, and that you may increase greatly in the land flowing with milk and honey, just as the Lord, the God of your ancestors, promised you. Hear, O Israel, the Lord our God, the Lord is one. Love the Lord your God with all your heart and with all your soul and with all your strength. These commandments that I give you today are to be on your hearts. Impress them on your children. Talk about them when you sit at home, and when you walk along the road, when you lie down, and when you get up. Tie them as a symbol on your hands and bind them on your foreheads. Write them on the foreframes of your houses and on your gates. Right? So he goes on, and he's really talking about how important the commandments are. And he gives the first one right in our reading today. That is to love the Lord with all your heart, all your soul, all your strength, with all your might, with everything that you have. We are commanded to love God. This gives us insight into the core of worship, the nature of worship, the essence of worship, or what worship is all about. It's about worshiping or serving, being devoted with everything. That nothing rivals our commitment, nothing rivals our worship, nothing rivals our dedication to the Lord. Nothing. On yesterday, we got into the conversation a little bit about how committed people are to whatever they're into. Whatever they're into. It doesn't even have to be non-believers. Even believers, when we get into something, people in general, when we get into something, there's some people that sink their teeth into it. They really get into it. It could be a sitcom, okay? Something, what is it? The Price is Right. People watch that every day, religiously. They hate to miss it. Or the stories, the soap operas. How about, I remember back in the day, what was one of them hot shows? Game of Thrones. What was another hot show? Scandal. Some of y'all remember way back Scandal. But they got a lot of shows, and it's been more and more and more. And when you get into a show and there's a ongoing storyline and narrative, you can't wait until the next week or the next episode is released or the next season. Oh my God. Matter of fact, they have been known to go through the episode, close it down, stop it, and their people clamor. They're so intense about it. They'll bring it back. They'll come back for an encore, another season. I'm telling you. And they'll change the characters. Some character quit, or he want 15 times the money and whatever. Some people used to watch Seinfeld or Friends or whatever. Hey, when I was a kid, it was, hey, it's Fat Albert. Man, we couldn't wait till Saturday morning came. We wanted to see Fat Albert. 3 o'clock, 3:30, whatever time that was, 3 o'clock, 3:30, that was my speed racer time. Go Speed Racer, go Speed Racer, go Speed Racer, go. Right? That was my cartoon. Come on, man. Whatever it was, there was a dedication to that thing. And that television entertainment, even the sports, you get into the sports. Nowadays, it's so, oh my God, man, all day it's 24-hour sports channels. They got 100 channels that's just sports all day. They're going to talk basketball all day. Is LeBron the greatest? Is Michael Jordan the greatest? All day. And if you get into one of those shows, man, it's just all encompassing. Now they got it so if this is your show, once the show go off, you can follow stuff online. You could follow, they tweeting, their Instagram. You could follow the characters. You could read the backstory. I mean, they have stuff set up in such a way you can get so deep into this stuff. It's amazing. Now, when you compare that to our worship of the living God, I mean, it's the truth is, we ought to be ashamed of ourselves. That's the truth. I mean, am I out here by myself, or are there others that would agree? That, I mean, you got people that get involved in the car, right? They're in the cars. They go to every car show. They'll spend a lot of money on their car. They'll wash it. They'll wax it. They'll get it fixed. And for no apparent reason, they'll redo the whole car. It's time to redo it. I want to repaint it. I want to take down the motor and put a whole new motor in the thing. I mean, it's insane. It's amazing. Again, going to a musical concert, or somebody is a fan of they're this person's fan. They got all of their music. They know all the song or words to the lyrics of the songs. It's amazing. It's amazing, and they follow everything, Instagram and all their posts, wherever they are. They're just into it, man. It is amazing. It is amazing. And when you compare it, and I referenced the other night when I was going to the church, 3 o'clock in the morning, all these people, 1,000 people going down to the juke joint, and to be there all night, spending their money and getting drunk and whatever. Again, the commitment that I see believers have to God and to worshiping God, it pales. We don't have that kind of commitment. As a matter of fact, I have been criticized for calling people to a fast, calling people to give, calling people to be in attendance at a service. Bishop, our services are too long. We're preaching too long. I'm telling you. And this is for the living God. And so, really, and then when you talk about the whole idea of giving, offering to the Lord, 1,000, 5,000. Yesterday we talked about going to Vegas. Some of y'all said 5,000, 3,000, whatever the case may be. I agree with that. I just don't want to have those things in front of God. The Lord should be first. But when we look in the world, and now bling is the thing, right? Gold chains, the diamonds. Ooh, they got them diamonds. They got them chains, and I know a couple of people that got a chain, and their chain is not as elaborate as these rappers and stuff. And how much is the chain? $50,000. Yeah, that's $50,000 right there. And that's not one of them big ones. Oh man, you talk to those kids. And now there's this other kid. I don't know. There's one guy. He's finding his way, and he's finding his niche. His niche is to go to all the events and to ask people, how much are you wearing? Has anybody seen this? Shantia, have you seen this guy? He always want to show up at the events and ask everybody, how much were your shoes? How much for your outfit? What are you wearing and how much did it cost? How much for your bling, your drip game, right? Wow, I couldn't believe some of the stuff. People wearing $4 million. You got on $4 million? Yeah, I'm wearing $4 million. It's amazing. Ice. I saw one show, I'm just flipping through it sometime. I saw one show about, I think the show was called Icebox, right? And it's about a jewelry store in Atlanta. And all the big famous rappers and performers, they go there to get their jewelry. And there was a gentleman there, he was getting his clean. He had, 10 different chains, iced out, 100,000, ice that he came and brought all his chains in because he wanted to get them clean. So they was cleaning. And while he's standing around, he's getting all his bracelets and he got ankle chains and earrings, and he getting it all clean. He had to have at least $2 million worth of stuff. And while he's standing around, he said, oh man, I love that. I like that. You know what? I think I need something new. The guy had 10, 15 different ones. And he ended up picking up another one, 150 grand, right? And while he was there, I don't know these rappers, but when they say their name, I'll say the name. The Baby, right? He came in, he was headed to the Atlanta Hawks basketball game, right? He's going to the game, and he came in, he was iced out. He came in, he said, I need something fresh, I need something new, I'm going to the game tonight. And he just picked out something real quick and put it on. He told the owner, he said, I'll be back, we'll take care of it. Obviously, they do what they do. They do business. But he wanted to go to the game, made sure he had on a brand new iced out chain, at least $100,000. I couldn't believe it. I was like, wow, these people. But, if that's what they into, they don't spare no expenses. They got all these shows, and the shows are about bling and about gaudiness and about how much money they spending. It's almost like a new version of the lifestyle of the rich and famous. They got a lot of these shows that show, their houses, their cars, their jewelry, their exotic trips and vacations and yachts and all those things, private planes and all that. I mean, it's a lot. I get it. They got it. They flaunting it. And being loud and obnoxious is the way. I mean, that's the fad. That's the trend of the day.
Got to find something in life. Life is going to take you from nobody.
Somebody throw your hands up, anoint them, fill them with your spirit, and believe God for it. Don't wait till the battle is over. Shout right now.